Good morning and welcome to our first Pittsburgh Water Board meeting of the year, January 24th, 2025. I will be chairing today's meeting, although we have our board chair, Alex Shuley, joining us remotely. I will be, as vice chair, pinch hitting for him today. Our first order of business is roll call.
Mr. Shuley?
Here.
Ms. Strausberger?
Here.
Ms. Lever?
Here.
Mr. Domock?
Here.
Mr. Bay?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Our next order of business is public comment. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment? Seeing none.
We forgot Peg on the roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Alex.
I'm sorry, Peg. Ms.
Okay.
McCormick Barron?
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. More than a quorum. Our next agenda item is approval of December 20th, 2024 meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
Second. All those in favor of approving the December 20th, 2024 meeting minutes, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Minutes are approved. Our fourth agenda item is confirmation of CEO approvals, and I will note that we all received the CEO approvals. Our next agenda item is reports and updates, and we'll start with the Finance Department report. Mr. Barca.
Morning.
Morning.
Included in your board packet is the finance report as of December 31st, 2024. Within the report, you will see that Pittsburgh Water experienced stronger than expected receipts in the month of December by collecting $28.6 million as compared to the budget amount of $26.9 million. That represents an increase of about $1.7 million when you compare the two. The total receipts for fiscal year 2024 were $239.4 million. Represents an increase of about $909,000 or 0.4% as compared to the budget. So on a cash basis, we did end the year about $1 million over budget on receipts. That was mostly led by wastewater conveyance, but as a whole, we did experience strong receipts for the year. Departmental operating expenditures for fiscal year 2024 totaled $121.5 million. That represents about 99% of the budget for the year. So pretty much right on par there for operating expenses. And for capital expenditures, we met budget expectations for the year by recording $192.1 million. This is by far the most we've ever invested in our system for capital expenditures. And just to give a comparison, in 2023, we expended $131.1 million. So about a $60 million increase year over year, which is very positive. $83.9 million in debt service costs were paid in fiscal year 2024. That's about 98% of the budget for the year. So again, right on par there for our budgeted debt service cost. And in summary for the year, I just want to note that Pittsburgh Water did perform very well. A few highlights that I want to mention are that we increased our reserves for the year, which puts us more in line with our peer utilities. That's something that Pittsburgh Water aimed to do in our budget for 2024. And given our strong performance for the year, we're able to achieve that. We also met our operating and capital budget expenditure expectations, as I mentioned before. And we also exceeded our debt service coverage ratios for the year, which is also a positive sign for our metrics. All this strong performance was capped off by a credit rating increase by Moody's that occurred earlier in December of 2024, which I mentioned at the last board meeting. Speaking of the upgrade, I am happy to report to the board that Pittsburgh Water had a successful bond pricing earlier this month. With that, I often get asked, how did the Moody's upgrade impact that pricing? Unfortunately, there's really no way to quantify that, really just because it's market conditions, really market dependent when we issue the bonds. But a couple of things to know, which I think speaks to that positive momentum, is that we received over $1 billion in orders for $155 million in bonds that we offered. So the supply there was much greater than what we were giving out. That helps us reduce our cost overall when we issue those bonds. The interest rate for the bonds was very comparable to the prior issuance that we issued in 2023. But the market this year that in January is much worse as compared to what we issued in 2023. So really the takeaway there is, in a bad market or, as a comparative market to 2023, our issuance or interest rate was about the same. Again, speaking to that stability, with our credit rating increase. And then last, I was able to negotiate a cheaper bond insurance cost as a result of the upgrade. That did result in hundreds of thousands of dollars in savings. So that's something we can quantify there as a direct result of that upgrade that we did receive. And then last, if you haven't seen it, I just want to mention that Pittsburgh Water this week was awarded a $26 million funding offer from Penvest. This is to continue our lead service line replacement program. This funding offer was provided by the bipartisan infrastructure law, which includes a 1% $13 million loan and a $13 million grant. Pittsburgh Water has secured $176 million in bipartisan infrastructure law funds since that law was passed. And by my count, that's the most of any utility in the state. So, really kudos to the whole team there on, doing what we need to do to make sure we can obtain as much funding as possible. And with that concludes my report for today. So I'll turn to questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations on lots of good news there, despite market conditions out of our control, and particularly the Penvest announcement, continuing to diversify our revenue sources. Is there anything from board members?
Yeah, I would just like to add, that's an exceptional report, and I think it's really indicative of strong financial management, strong operational management, strong capital management, and also really points to the service that we're providing our ratepayers and the investment that we're making in the future. And I do want to add that our Pittsburgh potty in the basement ran for a month in December. So in terms of that revenue increase, you're welcome.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Took one for the team.
We did, yeah.
Anything else from members? Anyone online? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next agenda item is Engineering Department report. Ms. Beam.
Good morning, members of the board.
Good morning.
I do have some slides today. Thank you, Cameron. I'm going to start this morning by highlighting our small diameter sewer rehab program. These contracts involve the inspection and focused rehabilitation of sewers to improve system reliability and minimize disturbance to the community through proactive rehabilitation. Contracts utilize a cured in place pipe or CIPP lining, excavation point repairs, manhole raises, and new manholes to address defects found during our CCTV inspections. This program began in 2019 with contracts being awarded annually, and Pittsburgh Water has received consistent Penvest and Alcosan Grow funding for these projects. The 2023 small diameter sewer rehab program includes 22.6 miles of inspected sewers, 11.2 miles of rehab, and 220 new or raised manholes. This work has occurred in the neighborhoods of Knoxville, Homewood, and Carrick, and is currently in final construction and closeout. The 2024 program is currently in the bidding phase, with anticipated notice to proceed slated for mid-April. Work is in the Knoxville, Westwood, and Summer Hill neighborhoods and includes 22.7 miles of inspections, 19.5 miles of rehab, and 180 new or raised manholes. And the 2025 program is currently in final design. Upon completion of that design, the projects will be submitted to DEP for Penvest technical review and approval. These projects include 24.5 miles of inspection, 14.7 miles of rehab, and 191 new or raised manholes. And the work will take place in Beltsuver, Sheridan, and Arlington. We also have our IDIQ, aka indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contracts, which are shown in the table. These contracts include installation of CIPP liners as required throughout the year in various locations throughout the city. The selection of our sites for this program is currently based on CCTV status, previous repairs, and customer complaint history. Other factors include the neighborhood's EPA Environmental Justice Index rating with a focus on areas with an index between 75 and 100%, high levels of inflow and infiltration, and the impact to other nearby utilities. Areas where significant future projects may be required to complete compliance goals are avoided to avoid redundancy. Several SDSR programs have utilized Alcosan's green revitalization of our waterways or GROW funding. This funding is provided by Alcosan for source reduction projects in their partner communities and authorities. Parts of the 2019, 2021, 2022, and 2023 small diameter sewer rehab programs were awarded GROW funding, with GROW allocation reimbursements ranging between 15 to 28% of the total construction cost. A total of $2.4 million in grant funding has been awarded through these GROW grants. A portion of the 2025 contract is anticipated to be submitted for GROW consideration in cycle 11. PennVest grants and loans, as I mentioned, have also been utilized for this program from 2020 onward. And since 2020, a total of $89 million has been awarded through PennVest to the program projects. So shown in the next slide are going to be some examples of CCTV inspections capturing significant sewer defects as part of our 2023 program. This example shows a pipe fracture on Grimes Avenue in Knoxville. And these ones show pipe collapses on Rents Way and Rochelle Street, also in Knoxville. Other defects that we find can include utility line penetrations, offset pipe joints, and broken pipe walls. Shown here are some examples of open cut point repairs, which we perform as needed prior to lining. On the left is Rochelle Street in Knoxville, and on the right is Idlewild Street in Homewood. And shown here is the process of a new manhole installation on Dove Way in Knoxville. The pouring of poured in place invert instead of using precast. And then lastly are examples of the cured in place lining. This is taking place on Kirk Avenue in Carrick, and on the right, Race Street in Homewood. And on the first photo on the left is the inversion process. So that sock or bag that you see is the liner. It gets inverted through the machine before it gets put into the manhole, basically turning it inside out. And then pressurized steam pushes that liner through the pipe, which is maintained until the cure is complete. And the photo on the right shows the opposite end during the curing process. And once that curing is complete, that tail end is cut off, and then post-televising is completed. Moving on to our water reliability plan, progress continues on the construction of the Highland Reservoir Pump Station with the erection of structural steel framing for the building, as you can see. These photos are pretty recent from January 14th and 15th, so making good progress on the construction of that building. And that is the conclusion of the slides. So briefly, an update on our lead service line replacement program. A total of 12,151 public and 8,860 private side lead service lines have been replaced through January 22nd. And we currently have 6 active construction contracts involving lead service lines, which are a combination of small diameter water main replacement, neighborhood, and urgent contracts. The following projects are currently out for construction bids. Construction management and construction inspection for the Aspinwall Pump Station, Brecken Pump Station, and Clearwell Bypass Project. Bids are due February 5th. 2023 small diameter water main replacement. I apologize, that last one was not a construction project. That was CMCI, construction management and construction inspection for our ABC. On the construction side, we have the 2023 small diameter water main replacement contracts A1, B1, and B2. Bids are due February 11th, 12th, and 13th, respectively. We also have our 2025 surface restoration construction contract out for bid. Those are due February 13th. And finally, our Aspinwall Pump Station, Brecken Pump Station, and Clearwell Bypass Project, general, electrical, plumbing, and HVAC contracts out for bid. Bids are due on February 13th. Finally, I'd like to share that Kate Meckler in our team has been promoted from Deputy Director to Director of Engineering and Construction, overseeing the wastewater, stormwater, and green infrastructure programs. This promotion reflects Kate's excellent performance and growth under Barry King's skilled and supportive leadership. Barry remains as Director of Engineering and Construction, overseeing the drinking water program and all related construction work. Under their collective leadership, both the size of the engineering and construction team and our capital budget have increased substantially, 30-fold on the capital budget side. And this new structure will allow them to focus on the programs that they have successfully curated together over the past 10 years. And I'm excited to continue working with both of them. This concludes my report. I will turn it over for any questions.
Thank you very much. And once again, I appreciate the visuals. It's incredibly helpful to know that when people are, taking up a lane on a street or you see them working, they're using really innovative technologies in some cases, and to see those collapsed sewers as well is fascinating. Congratulations to Kate as well. Anything from board members?
I would like to add, Erica, that first of all, congratulations to Kate on her promotion. I think it's well deserved. She certainly has been focusing her attention on our wastewater, stormwater projects, and I think this promotion recognizes some of the value that she has brought to Pittsburgh Water, and I'm happy that she's been promoted and should be working obviously alongside Barry King and with Rachel in the engineering group. Rachel, I do have a question about the ABC project that the bids are due on the 13th. Obviously, we've given bidders a lot of time on this project because of the size, magnitude, and complexity of it. Have we received a significant number of requests for information?
We have, I don't have the exact number, but it is, it's well over 100. It might be approaching 200.
Okay, and are most of these answered through Bonfire, or do we have face-to-face question and answer kind of opportunities for contractors to ask the staff directly?
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. So all questions must be submitted through Bonfire. All contractor questions, bidder questions must be submitted through our Bonfire system. And that's how the questions are addressed. So they will all be addressed in writing through Bonfire only.
So we don't have any plans at this moment to have a face-to-face pre-bid meeting other than using the Bonfire system. Is that correct?
Well, we actually have had, we did have a mandatory pre-bid meeting. So we did do that, as well as a site visit in conjunction with that was held previously in December. We also had another optional site visit recently here in January, where bidders could come again and visit the site if they wanted to. So we did have a face-to-face pre-bid meeting.
Okay, and what's your sense? You think we'll have a good contingent of competitive bidders?
I think so, yes, in monitoring the bidders list, but we are always open to additional bidders, although at this point we've passed the mandatory period. So I think we'll get good bids though.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from board members?
Oh, it's to follow up with Alex's good questions. Has anybody sort of showed up that's not from around here?
As far as I know, I apologize. I'm just thinking about the various bidders we have. For the most part, they're local. Yeah. We can share the bidders list with you.
Anything else? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank
We
you.
will move on to the Chief Executive Officer report. Mr. Pickering.
We've got Frank first.
Ooh, we missed Frank, our favorite presenter. No, we love them all. Chief Environmental Compliance and Ethics Officer report.
I have a short report, so you can get on the wheel quickly.
Take as long as you like.
Well, so today, I wanted to mention one of our goals for our environmental compliance and ethics program, which is to detect any non-compliant activities at an early stage, of course, before they can impact water quality or our compliance with regulations. One of the ways that we achieve those goals is through our codes and policies that we've established. And to help maintain employee awareness, of these codes and policies, which include our code of ethics, our code of conduct, as well as that whistleblower policy. Annually, we've been going through a process to offer them to all staff again and have them acknowledge it so that they're aware that the policies exist. We have done that for the last few years through our HR department using an online learning management system to help track participation and make sure that we get those codes and policies out to all of our staff. In addition, we make our contractors and consultants and CI firms, so all of the folks that we work with, also aware of our environmental compliance and ethics program. We require that as part of an agenda during kickoff meetings. I often attend those kickoff meetings to be able to talk directly with our contractors and consultants about our environmental compliance, waste management, and other topics. I want to take a minute, though, to recognize a couple of our consultants. First, Montelo Basin Engineers. They've again invited me this year to present at an internal training that they have for construction inspectors. It's going to be on a Saturday here in a couple of weeks, where they asked me to come in and talk specifically about environmental compliance and ethics to folks that work on our projects. Also, a little recognition for some of our other consultants, AECOM, Hatch, Michael Baker. They coordinate and have for the last few years with our engineering and construction department to put on another a separate Saturday session. I believe this year it's going to be in March. I see some of the tentative planning emails happen. And as part of that training for our CM and CI firms that work on our projects, I will talk about environmental compliance, and our Director of Safety and Security is also invited to talk about safety on our construction projects. So good opportunities there, and we like to see the engagement of the consultants and contractors we work with in supporting our environmental compliance and ethics program. I haven't reported a lot in the past on water production and distribution, but I do sit out at the water treatment plant and work very closely with our plant and field operations staff. So I wanted to take a moment this morning to provide the board as well as the public an update given the recent extreme cold weather that we've all been experiencing. It's a little warmer out here today. But since the beginning of January at the water plant, we've been increasing water withdrawal, the water we pull from the river to treat and send out into our distribution system. Early January, we were taking about 65 million gallons per day of water to satisfy our demands in the system. Just yesterday, we were around about 80 million gallons per day. So we've had an increase in water withdrawal. This increase in water production, though, is really directly associated with the change in weather, which both has increased our customer demand, but also, unfortunately, increases the number of water main breaks that we can experience due to the extreme temperatures and the shifting of the ground that can occur. Through all of these extreme conditions and service disruptions, though, we have continued to provide high quality drinking water in compliance with our regulatory requirements. And this is all real big thanks goes out to our field crews that continue to work in those cold temperatures, nighttime hours when it's sub-zero temperatures to help make repairs to address those leaks. Our certified water operators out at the plant that continue to make sure the plant is operating and providing that high quality drinking water. And of course, we have a group of chemists who are also driving around in these cold temperatures, collecting water samples from the distribution system to continue to assure compliance with those regulatory requirements. So a lot of great folks, have responded during this extreme weather to help make sure that we continue to put out good water. So just in conclusion, I started off the report discussing about the importance of early detection and reporting as part of that internal environmental compliance and ethics program. But early detection and reporting is also available for our customers. So I encourage all of them to use our report and issue function, which is available right at the top of our PGH2O website, or call customer service to report any drinking water related concerns so that, of course, we can investigate and take action on those. That concludes my report. I always offer, if anybody has questions on environmental compliance or ethics, I'm available and happy to answer any questions today.
Great. Thank you for your presentation. I was going to mention it during Will's presentation or after that, but since you brought it up, I did want to offer a big thank you to all the essential workers at Pittsburgh Water for, to those who don't have the luxury of working from home in front of their computers or in a warm place during this extreme cold weather, who have been out there keeping our water running safely, our water safe and running for people during these times is to be commended. So please pass along our thanks. Anything else?
I want to pass my congratulations as well. Thanks, Erica, for noting that these are trying times to be outdoors in these conditions, and And also want to thank Frank personally for the time that he has put in on some of these projects that have required additional time at the plant. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now our Chief Executive Officer report, Mr. Pickering.
Thank you. Good morning, members of the board and public and folks tuning in online. As Ed alluded to in his look back to last year, and as you'll be seeing here as we put the final touches on our annual report, 2024 was an excellent some information we had in your board packet related to the progress we've made on our supplier diversity program, which is a core component of how we spend our ratepayer dollars really strategically to try to engage our small and local businesses. In 2024, we continued our relationship with Beam Collaborative, which is a local nonprofit organization that's really focused on addressing systemic barriers hindering local small businesses. And they have really prompted us to look strategically at where we spend and try to marry up some of those spend locations that are prime for partnering with firms that are on their radar. And at the end of the year, we actually, with help from our existing business partners, we've been working with 3 new local MBE vendors. So that program continues to yield results. And we're really excited to build upon that in 2025. Also in 2024, if you look at what we're classifying as our addressable spend, so that's removing things like utility costs, chemicals, things where there really isn't an opportunity to partner with a local small or disadvantaged business. We spent 26% of that addressable spend, really our discretionary spend. And when you look at both our operating and capital expenditures, 26% of those dollars were spent with veteran-owned, women-owned, minority-owned, or small business enterprises, which is, Ed went through our spend total for the year. So 26% of that is certainly a significant dollar amount. And then when you take a look at that spend level, which again, Ed called out was record for us as an authority, just over $190 million, a full 55% of that spend was with diverse businesses. So an incredible piece of the pie. The majority of the dollars that we spent on behalf of ratepayers in our capital program went to those businesses that are qualified under our small diversity supplier diversity program. So please do, when you get a chance, take a look at those achievements. I want to call out Emily Pontarelli, who runs our supplier diversity program, working with Lee Haller, and then especially the engineering and construction department, since a lot of that capital spend is coming out of their department, but then also our business partners for finding those subs that are qualified under our supplier diversity program to work with us. So a really tremendous year on the supplier diversity program. And then just because I can't help myself, BJ, I know we appreciate the additional revenue, but we do have, if you log into our customer advantage portal, we can set you up with text alerts to alert you to any abnormal usage. I got one because we were running the taps in our homes, creating that additional demand Frank mentioned to keep our pipes from freezing. It works incredibly well. It's up to you to determine when you want to get that text or email alert. So just wanted to make a plug for that, as you all may be doing something similar and running pipes or potentially there could be a pipe break in the home with these cold weather temperatures that we're experiencing now. Check out that customer advantage portal. The majority of our customers actually are using it, not necessarily signing up for those alerts, but have logged in. So that concludes my remarks, but happy to answer any questions the board may have.
I'll just say the conversation in our house was me to my husband, aren't we signed up for alerts on the website? And the answer was no, but we are now. So
Got it. That all takes
highly
one.
recommend it. Yeah,
Doctors make the worst patients.
exactly.
Thank you very much. Anything from members?
Will, I was just wondering whether you wanted to talk a little bit about some of the other organizational changes with respect to Frank's position, and the sort of the spreading out of some responsibilities that he had previously and what he'll be doing now.
Sure, happy to, Alex. So beginning this year, and we're queuing up the official announcement, Frank Sideri, who just was addressing the board, is going to take on a little more of a formal role within our operations group, both at our plant and having field operations report directly to him. Along with that move and slight change to his title, we're trying our best not to make it any longer than it already is. Jen Prizzuti is going to assume the just one title of Chief Financial Officer and have the customer service department aligned under her wing, as well as keeping safety and security and all of the finance functions under her. So really want to commend Jen for many years leading the operational elements of the organization. And, we're looking to we're be on the lookout. I think we have positions posted to try to take some of the environmental compliance responsibilities from Frank directly and get support from an additional director to allow him to focus on our operational activities this year. So those are the big moves that we have made just to try to set us up for continued success this year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? All right, well, that concludes our reports and updates. We'll now move on to agenda item 6, resolutions. And since this is the first of the year, the first meeting of the year, we have resolution number 1. Julie Meckling.
Good morning, Chair and board members. So resolution number 1 is a request to exercise the 3-year renewal option with Kubra. The total 3-year cost is $4,296,247.60, which includes bill printing, bill mailing, emailing billing to our paperless customers, credit card processing fees, and postage. Pittsburgh Water Management recommends that the board approve these option years.
Do we have a motion?
So moved. A second.
Second, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 1, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions? Resolution number 1 is approved. Thank you very much. Resolution number 2. Mr. McFadden.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Resolution number 2, approving the award of the 2024 Reservoir Surface Cleaning Contract to Wintergreen Lawn Care. This is out of the operating budget for $1,743,520.20. Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor of resolution number 2, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Resolution number 2 passes. Thank you very much. Resolution number 3. Mr. Barka.
Mike's like a hot potato. Keep passing it
Musical
around.
chairs tonight.
Resolution number 3 of 2025, approving the amendment or replacement of a revolving line of credit in an amount not to exceed $150 million.
We have a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, discussion?
Why do we need it, Ed?
Our current line of credit expiration date is in the spring of this year. So this resolution authorizes us to put out a bid to either renew the current line of credit or replace it with a line with a better interest rate.
Okay, so this is a continuation of a line of credit that we already have.
Correct. Yeah. And I should clarify too, this line of credit is used to interim fund our capital program. So that's what it's used for. There's no operating expenses or anything else tied to it.
And the current line is this amount.
Correct. Yeah.
150
The current line is the same amount.
150 million.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? All those in favor of resolution number 3, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Resolution number 3 is approved. Thank you. Resolution number 4. Ms. Prizzuti.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
In your board packet, you have resolution number 4 as amended, which authorizes the chief executive officer to enter into a lease agreement with 1080 River Holdings LLC. The location at 1080 River Avenue will be the new operations center for Pittsburgh Water. The total base rent will be from the operating budget in the amount of $26,724,143.97. This total represents the full term of the lease, which is 15 years and 9 months. Staff recommends approval of this resolution.
And I will note that this is an amendment to what was originally published in the agenda. It's a $26 million number versus a $24 million. We were briefed on this change in executive committee and executive session, and we will be voting on the amended version, the $26 million.
Yes, thank you.
Do we have a motion to approve at that amended level?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 4 as amended, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions? Resolution number 4 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution number 5.
Resolution number 5, approving the award of a capital contract for the Highland Number 2 Reservoir Dam Permitting and Slope Stability Design Engineering Services to Arcadis. Capital budget, $1,158,452.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to ask a question. I recall some time ago, not too long ago, there was a GPR study at this site. And so I'm trying to improve my feel of whether this is, the ante keeps kind of getting pumped up here by DEP, or is there just more like routine surveillance?
So the Highland Reservoir 2, as well as all 3 of our reservoirs, Land for Highland 1, Highland 2, are considered high hazard dams by DEP. So this is part of the required permitting process that's necessary. And it's determined that there is going to need to be some slope stability work performed in order to get the dams up to DEP's standards. I am not familiar with the GPR study, but I'll look into that and see how that was used or is being used, if at all. But this whole process is basically just part of the permitting for these dams, what are considered dams.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anything further from members?
Rachel, does this study take into consideration some of the trees that were proposed to be removed?
Yeah, so the DEP does require that no trees be allowed to grow on or near a dam. So as a part of this work, we do anticipate some tree removals. We have discussed this very extensively with DEP at pretty high levels. And they are adamant in this requirement, and they've issued some written documentation to that effect. So there will be some trees that will need to be removed just related to the slope stability work alone. And then there will likely need to be some additional trees removed as a result of just not being permitted to have trees on or near the slope of a dam. Again, this is all related to the Highland Number 2 reservoir at this point. We have which is the covered reservoir. No work or analysis has been done to date on the open Highland 1 reservoir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good question. Anything further? Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 5, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Resolution number 5 is approved. Resolution number 6.
Approving the award of a capital contract for the construction of the 2024 neighborhood lead service line replacement contract B to Wilson Excavating, capital budget $12,064,405.
We have a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 6, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions? Resolution number 6 is approved. Our final resolution of the day, resolution number 7.
Approving the award of a professional services agreement from Capital for construction management and construction inspection services for the 2025 catch basin and inlet replacement project to Johnson, Merriam and Thompson, capital budget $952,049.54.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 7, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Resolution number 7 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think we have any meeting announcements. Is there anything further from members? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a great day.